Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark, and as promised, joining me now in the studio, we have, first off, Arluster Kendrick. He is the writer-director of the brand new film, I think came out last year, Fattenin Frogs for Snakes. How you doing, Arluster?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And we also have Dwight Floyd, and you play one of the characters there in the movie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I play Solomon Lakeley.
Solomon Lakeley. Yeah, I thought I recognized you.
Yes,
and I'll admit to both of you gentlemen, number one, horror suspense is not my usual genre. I'll put it that way. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this right. And I got a pretty good setup. Let's throw it up on the 85-inch, turn out all the lights, sit in the middle of the room and surround sound. And I don't know what you're going for, but I found it disorienting at times, disturbing at times. Yeah, like horrifying, but not in sort of a torture porn sort of way.
Yeah, more like dreamy.
Yeah.
That was the idea.
So let's start with like who are your influences? Like what leads you to making a film like this?
Oh man, like I love all like the great, I consider the great directors. Of course, Tarantino, Spike Lee. Man, I like Kubrick. You know, Scorsese. You know, all the guys. It's a couple of Asian filmmakers I like. They kind of like from South Korea. It's a guy named Chan Park Wook. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He did The Handmaiden, stuff like that. Really inspired this. The Skeleton Key, Get Out, The Lady Killers. You know, it's a genre. You know.
Oh, absolutely. And even though it's not my genre, I appreciated it, and I found it also cool when I hear Coosa County, like right up over there, like in literally
we're real Alabama. We're really from Alabama, so you know.
And so this was shot, a lot of it in Alabama.
A lot of it, yes. Majority of it we shot Andalusia, Alabama, Wetumpka, Alabama, stuff like that. Can I ask, what's your normal genre?
I'm usually doing like action adventure or
okay.
whatever. I mean, I'll watch anything for the most part. Yeah, well, Tarantino.
Right.
I love binging. I kind of like. I'm this way with music too. If I get into somebody, I'm going to listen to all the albums. I'm going to watch all the films. You kind of just do the deep dive. So Tarantino was a recent one. Nolan was a recent one for me and his stuff. But like and I was trying to make sense of, okay, you jump from one shot to the other. One's a little darker and blurrier. And there are moments where like, this doesn't give too much away. He drops his bucket and something falls out. I'm like, what?
Right.
But that's a very conscious choice.
Right. So a lot of it is done based off so the idea is supposed to be like a nightmare.
Okay.
So I don't know if you paid attention to the end. It's kind of like we have a sneak peek. Special surprise at the very end, and it's kind of the idea is like I said, just a bad dream. So dreams kind of can come out. You know, 1 minute is this way, 1 minute is that way. You know, 1 minute you're spinning, next thing you know, you sit on top of a mountaintop or something. You know how dreams are, and so that was the idea that I wanted to get across.
And I love that you couldn't really tell, and I think also the setting y'all put this in throws people off. You couldn't tell who's good guy, who's bad guy. Right, so you're like, not to give again too much away, when the sheriff shows up, you're like, oh no, and you're like, oh my, okay.
Right.
So when you had to take on this character, Solomon, Dwight, what's the approach to this?
I mean, it's almost so unreal how I got to be Solomon. I mean, I never acted a day in my life before then. I came on as a producer, and to actually watch all the characters that was cast for the film, that just built up my confidence to get in character. And I mean, I just went head first in it.
And then Hunter Thor is kind of your lead there.
Right.
And he was on Blue Bloods, right? Like
Blue Bloods. He's currently a reality star on it's called My Big Fat Fabulous Life on TLC.
Okay.
So they've been on for like 11 years. It's kind of based around his sister, but it's a reality show.
So let's give a little bio though for folks who don't know. You're born here in Montgomery, right?
Born in Montgomery, raised a bit north, Autauga County, Elmore County. I don't know if you're familiar with like Stanhope Elmore High School. I think he went to Wetumpka High School.
Yes, I went to Wetumpka, a little bit of Elmore County High School, and I'm actually from Wetumpka, Alabama. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah, so like I said, we kind of know the area. That's what made me want to do a story like this, because I'm a country boy at the end of the day, And so I've been off in the city and stuff like that, but I always miss home, love home. So I'm always writing about home and doing, you know, just trying to give people like a different version of the country. And of course, like you said, it's it's like kind of like an eerie, hyper overdone, slightly version of it. You know what I mean? But you know, at the same time, you know, it's
Yeah,
kinda
well, when you imagine the literal center of Coosa County in 1935 Alabama, I'm sure you can imagine quite a lot.
right.
But not necessarily what you came up with. Like it was something, all sorts of twists. And I have to say, though it's not my genre, I enjoyed it. I'm like, okay, I'm glad I watched this. And it's great seeing talent come from this part of the world. You know, we just met, and I don't want to pry too much, but in your bio,
Right.
it talks about how you lose your mother at 12. I was older, lost my mother in life, but I started reading up on people who've lost a parent at a young age. And I realized a lot of stuff I was experiencing, others have too.
Yeah. It's a different, feeling. You know, definitely have to cope with it and try to make it through. But I think that's kind of what sharpened me into becoming just more, I guess, I won't say I'm introverted, but that's what kind of makes me a storyteller. And like I said, I have some stuff coming up that's gonna kind of dive more into that whole mother dynamic, you know, mother son dynamic.
Right. And that's where I was wondering is it was kind of the drive because you were only 12 when that happens. And you immediately jumped into all sorts of production and
Yeah, like an escape, you know, doing music. I kind of, Neil, he used to be our manager and stuff like that, and that's kind of how we met. You know, just music. I had my own studio in Wetumpka. You know, used to make beats, do all that type of stuff, and then I shot my first music video, and that opened me up to saying, hey, you know, I like film, and so I wanted to kind of go that route, and I've been doing short films, stuff like that ever since. But yeah, definitely, like you said, definitely, that, you know, changing my life. You know, father too, even, but it was you know, that's how it's supposed to go, you know. So
all right, no, that's you work with the cards you're dealt, so to speak.
yeah.
And there's a big premiere right here in town.
Yeah, that's gonna be this Friday coming up. That's February the 9th. It's 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. at the Capri Theater. That's 1045 East Fairview Avenue. So, you know, if you're around, anybody listening, anything like that, come check us out. Definitely, I think it's a pretty well-rounded film. Like I said, I think you'll be surprised at the ending. Definitely.
Yeah, you'll be surprised. And if you like this sort of genre, horror suspense, I think you'll love it. And if you're interested in, I think safe to say this is an art house film.
Definitely our house.
Yeah. So like, if you're interested in anything like that, and this is going to be at the Capri, or where is this going to be shown?
The Capri Theater.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can find tickets at Eventbrite, and you can find them at Knights in the Square Barbershop in Wetumpka and Rich Life Barbershop in Montgomery.
Okay. See, in the last movie I saw at the Capri was Evil Dead 2. So it's a
Evil
perfect
Dead.
setting.
Yeah. Evil Dead was that was interesting.
Well, that's silly. I don't know. Those movies make me laugh. But well, I appreciate y'all putting this on my radar. I enjoyed watching it. And you said you got big plans in the future. Your production company's out of Atlanta right now?
Yeah, based out of Atlanta. Small production company. You know, we do a lot of independent stuff right now. Looking forward to moving more into the studio space, you know what I'm saying, getting a studio film produced. But, you know, we're going to keep doing independent films as long as we're able to, as long as we can, you know, just want to keep creating at the end of the day.
Well, and then I got more questions keep coming to mind. Mm-hmm. Do you have like Dwight, you said this is your first time acting, but are there actors, actresses you're like, I always want to work with them? Like you see it in Tarantino films, you'll see the same folks. Like, are there folks you already have developed a relationship with? You're like, oh, I'll keep having them in my film.
A few people. I worked a lot with. It's a lady in the film named Crystal Ferris. She was in my last film, Atlanta Fornication. She was the star, one of the leads, and I did enjoy working with her. Who else did we bring back? Few people we brought back, but I can't say. It's a few actors I have my eye on that I want to work with in the future that I haven't worked with yet. But yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the guys that was actually supposed to be in your film that was from the last one, he didn't get to show up, so that's how I made the part. So, I mean, I think he ended up having car trouble, not to put that out there or anything like that, but I mean, I guess everything happened for a reason. It gave me my big break.
And this is your first time acting on film.
My very first time even dealing with a film. Like, I mean, me knowing Chris growing up, like he said, we did music together, and I've been watching them, you know what I'm saying, do it. So far as me jumping in there, it was just so, you know what I'm saying, nerve-wracking at first, but
Well, you could have fooled me,
I
man.
mean, like, that's what everyone tells me, but hey, I'm the person doing it, so that would just makes it even more harder.
No, your character jumped out of the screen to me. Like, yeah, it's a key role in the film. So, yeah, I guess long and short of it, I enjoyed it, and I really encourage folks, if you want to go to this premiere at the Capri, again, that's Eventbrite.
Eventbrite, yes.
And just search for Fattenin Frogs for Snakes.
Fattening Frogs for Snakes.
It's also, I think it's on the Capri. I think it's on their website, and of
Yeah.
course, it's also available on Amazon Prime, and it'll be out on Tubi soon. So yeah, you'll be able to see. You get your chance to see it. You know, if you don't make it to the theater, but we definitely want you to come out. It's gonna
And
be
I
a red
definitely
carpet.
think it's a
type of
film
thing.
that they would want to watch more than once, just to
Mhm.
get a clear understanding of what's going on in the film.
Oh yeah, there are plenty of moments I would have to rewatch to go like, what the heck is going on? Well, number one, this doesn't give again much away, but like when the dad, Papa sits down and just blank stare, I'm like, okay, what the heck's going on with that? I also felt disoriented about what actual time frame it was. I know it says 1935, but there are moments I'm like, what year is this?
Yeah, so it's based loosely, like I said, 1930s, maybe a little bit into 1940, but again, you know, independent filmmaking. The idea was really to capture like this farm life, just to kind of give you the idea, like, okay, this is a farm, like, you know what I mean? And a farm to me is timeless, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you know, like going into this, I did a lot of history research and a lot of studying, and you know, like wardrobe, looking at stuff like that. So a lot of stuff I picked, and I said, hey, you know, we wear this stuff today, but it's also something they wore, you know, back in time. So,
Well, and at the end, is that actual footage from the period?
yeah, that's
Okay.
actually from the 1920s. Because if you remember the first part, it says kind of based on a true story.
Yeah.
And so some of the characters, it's are you familiar with the Salem witch trials?
Oh, sure.
So it was a lady named Tituba, and Tituba is actually the grandmother. You know, we call it a ma in the film. But if
Oh,
you
yeah.
do your research on Tituba, you'll kind of understand, okay, oh, that's who that is, you know. And the families, like you said, the footage that's in there, that's like footage from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wilmington, North Carolina, places like that. And it's like these families who were like oil, I won't say oil tycoons, but they, you know, they had oil and, you know, just big time agricultural families, you know. And like I said, I wanted to just tell that story, me being from the country and stuff like that. I want to tell that story and give you a different perspective. And, you know, it's also kind of, what is it called? I want to say triggering, you know, to have him come to this family. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but have him come into this family and saying, okay, this is how y'all do it. Oh, okay. Because, you know, he's oblivious to what's going on, but he's still staying there because, you know, he has a mission, of course.
Right. And then, and again, I love is it a good guy, bad guy? Who's
Yeah, who is good and who's really bad.
right? Yeah, it's hard. It's kind of like, well, everybody's got a bad.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
A mixture.
Hey, I think that's more to real life than
Right.
than anybody wants to admit. We mostly do politics on the show, and I've had my moments like, are they all lying a-holes? All of them, Republicans, Democrats, all maybe.
Yeah,
might be possible.
Is it, you know, is it the same bird, different wings? I mean, what is,
Right,
you know.
there you go.
Life.
Well, I appreciate y'all stopping by, and again, folks, go watch this at the Capri upcoming here. It should be a good time and a great setting to watch a film like this. But I appreciate it, and great meeting you, Christopher,
Okay, man. Thank you for having me.
and good meeting you, Dwight.
Thank you so
And I
much.
still can't the first time. Daggone. Well, that's cool.
Thank you so much, man.
Well, y'all stay tuned. More news and views in the afternoon after this.